Jamal Smith, Violence Prevention Manager from the Office of Violence Prevention with the City of Milwaukee Health Department. Such an honor to be a part of this conversation. The mission of the Office of Violence Prevention is to prevent and reduce violence through partnerships that strengthen youth, families, and neighborhoods. So the focus, again, to Mike's point, is understanding the importance of elevating the quality of life and the position of health for our constituency, our communities, our residents across the city of Milwaukee. So the Office of Violence Prevention has been in existence since 2008. Its initial focus was mostly around domestic violence, but since 2016, we have taken on a public health perspective in ensuring that we examine, analyze, and come up with solutions that address violence, the complexities of violence from a public health lens. So some of the major programs and initiatives that exist in the Office of Violence Prevention, as you can read here, we have our City Commission on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, which is led by Karen Tyler, who is our Injury and Violence Prevention Manager for Domestic Violence. Safe Visitation and Exchange Centers connected to that. Our Coaching Boys to Men is a mentorship program led by D'Angelo Cargile, who is our Injury and Violence Youth Coordinator. Recast Milwaukee is focused on trauma and mental health services led by Arnita Holloman, who is the program manager for Recast, and has a connection with our trauma response partnership that is a collaboration with the Milwaukee Fire Department as well as the Milwaukee Police Department. Both of those entities can make referrals to the trauma response team in dealing with some of the traumatic incidences that may happen within our city, and counseling services will be provided. Our 414 Life team, which we'll get into soon, is our violence interruption program. And ultimately, we elevate our Blueprint for Peace, which was a community-led and community-driven document that focuses on strategies that elevate violence prevention work from a public health model. Next slide, please. So the vision of the Blueprint for Peace is that Milwaukee is a safe and resilient city where lives of all residents are valued, promoted, and protected. We understand that we have to look at that from a health equity lens in ensuring that people have access and an opportunity to experience a high quality of life. And in understanding that, we know that when people have a high quality of life, that is truly violence prevention. So in order for us to truly change the trajectory of our city in terms of the violence that we've seen on multiple fronts, then we have to make sure that we are elevating the lives of every resident that is in this city, making sure that it's valued, promoted, and protected, and people feel safe within their communities. Next slide. So these are the 6 goals after conversations with focus groups, business executives, community groups, individual residents, governmental bodies. These were the themes that came out of those conversations. And we use this as a model to truly elevate violence prevention. So goal 1, stop the shooting, stop the violence. So in that goal is where the 414 Life team is really elevated in making sure that there is interruption that is there for conflict resolution and mediation for violence that occurs within our communities. There's a great focus around retaliatory violence as well as providing services for those who've been impacted by violence. 2 is our promoting healing and restorative justice, which is a lot to do with our Recast program. 3 is supporting children, youth, and families, which D'Angelo, our youth coordinator, does a lot of focus on, making sure that there's quality access to after-school activities, youth development programs, and the likes. 4, promoting economic opportunities, so a focus around affordable housing, employment opportunities, entrepreneurship, because we understand and know that people who feel comfortable, who have a high quality of life in terms of economic opportunity are less likely to be engaged in violence. 5 is fostering safer neighborhoods, so ensuring that there is collaboration across the board in terms of connecting with residential groups, neighborhood associations, building opportunities around initiatives like CEPTED, which is crime prevention through environmental design, ensuring that there is a lot of engagement within neighborhoods to elevate safety and protection. And then 6 is strengthening capacity and coordination of violence prevention efforts. So meetings like this, collaborating with residents and community groups, individuals, business executives, and governmental entities to ensuring that those efforts are being combined around violence prevention. Next slide. So our 414 Live team focuses on these 4 areas: gun violence prevention, outreach, conflict mediation, de-escalation, hospital response. Tania Lydell is connected to the Freighter Hospital, which is the level 1 trauma hospital within the state, in terms of connecting with gun violence victims and their families and providing resources necessary for helping for them to deal with that traumatic event moving forward. And then finally, community engagement and healing. An example of that is this past Saturday, we had our 414 Live team had a pop-up event on 47th and Center. For those who don't know, Center has been labeled as one of the most dangerous dangerous streets in America, not just in the state, but in the country. So we've developed a presence on Center Street. But the great thing about our 414 Live team is that there is also a presence on the South Side. Many of our interrupters have been working closely with Marty Calderon, Team Havoc, as well as the South Side Organizing Center, so we can ensure that there is a stronger presence on the South Side in addition to the work that we do on the North Side. And also within the upcoming mayoral budget, there's been more money allocated to ensure that there is a capacity that is increased so that we can have more of our violence interrupters on the South Side to be a part of the work that has already been happening there, but then also bringing the model of de-escalation and mediation to the South Side to be able to alleviate some of the conflicts that have been happening on the South Side.